close your eyes for a small moment and imagine what success looks like to you. Are you maybe seeing the car of your dreams? Maybe the dream job you've always wanted to apply to? Or perhaps attending your dream college? Whatever it is, we may notice something crucial. And that is the fact that we kind of relate success with wealth. But what is wealth? Is it just about money? And if so, how much money makes us successful? All of these questions were answered to me when I began working for my parents' warehouse in Mexico City. Every summer, I spend most of my time in the centro. Here, almost all of economic activity in the city takes place. Thousands of stores fill the streets selling all sorts of products, all while the entrances are blasting reggaeton with salesmen screaming, "Chéquele, chéquele," trying to scare customers into checking out their stores. Just imagine that. But most of the time, you'd find me underground at Plaza Peña Peña in the warehouse of my parents. Here I spend days stacking up piles upon piles of boxes and counting stock upon stock of products. As a high school student back then, I honestly didn't see that activity as something successful. I mean, how could navigating a labyrinth of box shelves help me land a job in the future or help me get into a good college? I was really wrong, but with this mindset, I never smiled during working hours. I soaked in, complaining about everything internally. But soon enough, I would meet an incredible crew that would help me fix this attitude. The actual warehouse workers my parents hired. Contrary to me, they smiled a lot. I mean, they joked with each other every day and they blasted their favorite music, their corridos, the most popular genre in the centro, all with an off-brand JBL speaker. They made things look so much easier and even fun. I just didn't know why, but soon I would find out the reason. During Mexico City, if you don't know, it rains quite a lot. And when I mean a lot, I don't mean a lot, I mean a lot. So much that when the rain falls down, it begins to sound like islets. You can kind of imagine where I'm going at. Our warehouse will get flooded pretty badly. Weeks' worth of work would get washed away in an instant as the floor would become a dirty gray pond, or I would call it a nasty swimming pool. Bruh. I felt lost. Like, how? I just mindlessly, hopelessly swam around the rain trying to save one more box out, praying that the rain would stop. And obviously it didn't work. At the same time, the warehouse workers that I mentioned before around me were in a much, much better state than me. You can imagine that. They treated the flood almost like a game, seeing who could carry out most boxes in a single try and seeing who was the strongest. They had a whole-on bodybuilding competition there. And to silence out the storm, they just blasted their favorite corridos, like they always did with their off-brand JBL speakers. Even with jokes and laughs, they were simply much faster, and they were much more efficient than me. But most importantly, I learned something really important, and that is that they made me realize just how trivial all of my life priorities and definitions of success had been up until that moment. In floods, you see, wealth doesn't matter. I mean, the clothes I owned, the phone I had, or the colleges I wanted to go to, they didn't help me. What mattered the most at that moment was how well I could navigate the situation mentally. And obviously my box lifting skills, which the warehouse workers were much, much better at than me. I was just a skinny boy. It didn't matter that the warehouse workers had a JBL off-brand speaker or that they wore off-brand designer clothes, because at that moment, they were much more successful than me, thanks to their superior qualities and personal skills. This outstanding show of competence made me want to learn more about their daily lives. How did they become such resilient people? And so I overheard from the conversations and found out just how different my wishes were from their wishes. They wished to take the Uber more to work instead of going through a horrible 2-hour commute between bus, metro. Oh my God. They wanted to work less overtime during weekends, trying to save another warehouse from being flooded, or unpacking a whole container truck. They just wanted to spend more time with their family, together with their friends, at the best bars, the best antros, party avenues in their neighborhoods. I learned something crucial that I want to share with you. My idea of wealth was completely different from theirs. And I think it has to do with environment. Depending on the environment we grow up in and the environment we find ourselves at, our ideas of these two concepts of success and wealth can change drastically. But even so, people can still inspire each other beyond environment, maybe by how reliable they are. And the warehouse workers sure were reliable. This idea that we associate wealth with success is actually explained in the human sciences. In his hierarchy of needs theory, Abraham Maslow explains and argues that being wealthy is something that's highly visible, which means you can literally see if someone is wealthy based on the clothes they have, and it's something that's highly measurable. You can count it. And therefore, it makes people around us it helps people around us to really clearly see that indeed we are successful. So let me give an example. It's rather simple, but I want to say it's not correct to do so, to just judge somebody's success based on how much their car owns. I mean, you can literally have a whole number that says how much their cars own, and you can compare it with other people's car. It's highly visible and it's highly measurable. But what makes us belong to this club of the wealthy is really inconsistent. The criteria that are imposed on us about how much we should earn, what we should own, or where we should go to for college really changes from environment to environment and from country to country. Let me show you some evidence. According to Knight Frank's 2024 report, which is an annual report that basically explores different wealth trends on globally, the net worth you would need to belong to the 1% wealthiest individuals in Monaco is roughly around $30 million. That's quite a lot. But if we go back to Mexico, you would only need $343,000. We're talking about 40 times less. How is that even possible? What even is the metric of being wealthy? How much money? So let me ask you once again, what is wealth? Is wealth just about money? I believe no. I believe so far we can agree that the concepts and criteria for wealth are just really inconsistent and change so much. And therefore it makes the idea that we associate success with wealth pretty sad too, because we're basing success on a metric that isn't even stable. Like, imagine this. I earn a $100,000 salary in Mexico. That would make me relatively successful. However, if I moved and fly to Monaco, I'll become dirt poor. Like, what is success? And what is wealth? Do I have to become a billionaire then? No, my answer is no. And I believe my adventures at the floods in the warehouses have given me a better alternative to redefine success altogether. Success can be found in yourself, in your competence, in how good you are at overcoming crisis, and how good you are at your own craft, not other people's craft. Success doesn't always have to look like attending college or owning designer clothes. I was so obsessed with that, and that did not matter. Success can sometimes just look like finding joy in a dirty, flooded warehouse, smiling. Success can just sometimes look like becoming the best at lifting boxes, like the warehouse workers, with ease and smiles in your face. Back then, success may have just been me learning to become more grateful for the fact that I don't have to take a 2-hour commute daily to get to school or work. It may have been me becoming more grateful for the fact that I don't have to work overtime during weekends and can just stay at home playing video games. In sum, success is not just wealth, not just money. Success is also small moments of personal growth. Success is not just wealth, but also small moments of personal growth. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you to discard the idea and throw it to a trash can of wealth. No. I think it's almost unavoidable for us to want to have a good paying job, earn a supercar, have a nice outfit like I'm doing today. I love my suit. I think it's just part of who we are. We are humans that love money. But we should stop using it as the only metric to value ourselves. Start finding and celebrating your own moments of overcoming warehouse floods in Mexico City, however that may look like. Whether it is finally reading that book that you've been leaving on yourself for an entire year, or finally starting to work out like you've promised yourself in New Year's Eve, or improving your relationship with your siblings. Those are moments of success too, because those are moments of self-victory and self-growth, and they are just as valuable as gold. It's not about how successful you are. It's about what are you successful in. Close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to imagine what success looks like to you. Does it maybe look different now? Thank you.